Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Resurgent Osaka exits US Open, inspired not sad. New York, Naomi Osaka said her loss to Amanda Anisimova in her first Grand Slam semifinal for more than 4 years at the US Open on Thursday had left her inspired to work harder rather than sad or angry with herself. The 2018 and 2020 US Open champion was only a tiebreak away from returning to the title decider at Flushing Meadows, only for Anisimova to rally for a 6-7, 4, 7-6, 3, 6-3 victory. Honestly, I don't feel sad, the former world number one said. It's really weird. Well, it's not weird, because I just feel like I did the best that I could. Honestly, it's kind of inspiring for me, because it makes me just want to train and try to get better, and hopefully just give it my very best shot again and see what happens. But I think I can't be mad or upset at myself. Anisimova said after her victory that Osaka was back where she belongs and paid tribute to her Japanese opponent's ability to get back to the business end of a Grand Slam after having a child. Osaka returned to the tennis circuit last year, but this was by far her best performance at a Grand Slam since, breaking a string of exits in the early rounds. It left Osaka proud of what she had achieved and eager for more success. Just knowing that I love the sport, she said. I want to play matches. I want to play in Arthur Ashe Stadium and do whatever it takes to get there. I think just willing to accept the grind for me is something that I worked really hard on. Osaka will jump 10 places from her current ranking of 24th in the world after her run to the semifinals in New York. But she was not thinking yet about a third Australian Open title in January. Even at my quote-unquote worst, I have never played a tournament and thought that I would lose in the first round. If I enter a tournament, I want to win, the 27-year-old said. Getting far in the US Open was definitely a confidence booster, but the season is not done yet. I honestly got a little farther than I thought I would. I just wanted to be seeded in slams, but now I don't know what ranking I'm at. But I think I'm kind of getting up there. Obviously, I want to do well in Australia. I always happen to play well there. So doing well in the Asian swing, and then closing off the rest of the year, is my goal now. The lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium burned bright as the final point slipped through Naomi Osaka's racket. The ball skimmed past her forehand, clipped the line, and the crowd erupted, not in disappointment, but in reverent applause. She didn't fall to her knees. She didn't bury her face in a towel or dash off the court. Instead, she stood tall at the baseline, breathing deeply. 1, 2, 3 seconds. The moment was not an ending. It was a beginning. The scoreboard read defeat, but something deeper hummed beneath her skin. Relief, strength, and the curious flicker of inspiration. She walked to the net and met her opponent with a warm, genuine smile. "You played amazing," she said, and she meant it. The words were not protocol. They were a passing of the torch and a nod to the changing game she had once revolutionized. As Naomi exited the court, reporters waited, headlines already half written. Comeback cut short. Osaka falls in third round. Former champion still finding her way. But Naomi had her own story to tell, and this time, she wouldn't let anyone else write it. 2 hours later, she sat in the quiet of the locker room, lacing her sneakers slowly. Her coach entered gently, waiting for her cue to speak. "You okay?" he asked. Naomi looked up, eyes clear. "Yeah," she said. "I'm better than okay." He raised an eyebrow. "I'm not sad," she clarified. "And I think that's the biggest one I've had all year." The return hadn't been easy. After maternity leave and the whirlwind of mental health revelations, Naomi had wondered, many nights alone, rocking her daughter to sleep, whether the fire inside her still burned for tennis. The game she had once dominated felt distant, like a faded childhood memory. She had more to lose now. A daughter who needed her. A partner who saw the cracks she tried to hide. Fans who expected brilliance or nothing at all. But something about the US Open called to her. The hard courts of Queens had always felt like a second home. It was where she first stunned the world. Where the roar of the crowd, the energy of the city, the spirit of the sport itself, had once made her believe she was born for this. And now, it was where she proved to herself that she still was. She didn't come back to prove a point to critics. She didn't return for glory or ranking points. She came back because she missed the person she was on the court, resilient, focused, and alive. The first match back, her hands trembled. Her serve was shaky. But she won. The second match, her opponent pushed her to 3 sets. Naomi dug in and battled like the younger version of herself, who once rose from anonymity to world number 1. Another win. Tonight, the third match, she lost. But as she stood under the stadium lights, she realized something profound. She wasn't fighting the same battles anymore. In the press room, questions flew like volleys. Naomi, how does this loss feel compared to earlier in your career? She paused, then smiled lightly. Different. It's not a loss, it's a chapter. I'm just on a new page now. Another journalist asked, "What's next for you?" Naomi tilted her head. Home. Diapers. Lullabies. And then more tennis. Laughter broke out in the room, but Naomi was serious. She loved the duality now, warrior on the court, mother off it. It didn't divide her, it made her whole. Later that night, she posted to her social media a picture of her hand clasped around her daughter's tiny one. Caption: "The comeback isn't about winning. It's about remembering why you started." Fans flooded the comments with love, encouragement, and gratitude. They saw it now too. The spark was back. The next morning, Naomi stood at her hotel window, watching the New York skyline blush with sunrise. She sipped tea while her daughter cooed in the crib nearby. She thought about the girl she used to be, the one who didn't speak much in interviews, who carried the weight of expectation and identity like a stone on her back. That girl had grown. She had broken, healed, become a mother, rediscovered herself. Resilience wasn't in the wins or trophies. It was in this: showing up, daring to return, daring to feel joy in the middle of imperfection. Before checking out of the hotel, Naomi scribbled a note on the hotel stationery and folded it into her tennis bag. To whoever needs this: you're not behind. You're not done. You're just beginning again. As she walked through the lobby with her daughter in her arms, a young girl, maybe 12, recognized her. "Miss Osaka?" the girl asked nervously. Naomi knelt down with a soft smile. "Yes." The girl looked at her with wide, hopeful eyes. "You're still my favorite. I want to be just like you." Naomi smiled and gently placed a hand on the girl's shoulder. "Don't be like me," she said. "Be like you. But maybe be brave." Epilogue. Naomi Osaka didn't lift the U.S. Open trophy that year, but she walked away with something rarer: peace, purpose, a rediscovered love for the game, and the courage to continue, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. And somewhere in a quiet corner of Queens, a little girl picked up a tennis racket, dreaming not just of winning, but of becoming resilient, just like the woman who reminded her that strength isn't always loud, and comebacks don't always need confetti. Sometimes inspiration is the prize.